video. It's so fun. Dance in between. This guy. At halftime of boys basketball. It was their first performance. She did great. She was super nice.
Good morning and welcome to the City of Rapid City Planning Commission meeting for February 22nd, 2018. If any member of the audience wishes to speak to an item on the Planning Commission agenda, there are speaker request forms on the table along the left wall. Please fill out the request with the agenda number of the item you wish to speak to and hand it to the staff seated on the left of the dais. At this time, we would also like to ask that if any member of the audience has a cell phone or other electronic device, that you either turn it off or turn the ringer to silent. If you need to take a call, please step out to the hallway so the meeting is not disrupted. Items 1 through 7 have been placed on the consent calendar and may be approved as a group. Action will be taken on all consent items in accordance with staff's recommendation by a single vote. Any item may be removed from the consent calendar by any planning commissioner, staff member, or audience member for separate consideration at this time. The findings of this planning commission are recommendations to the City Council. The City Council will make the final decision with the exception of the following items. Item 2, 18 PD 001, and Item 4, 18 UR 001. The Rapid City Planning Commission's actions on these items are final unless any party appeals that decision to the Rapid City Council. All appeals must be submitted in writing to the Department of Community Development by close of business on the 7th full calendar day following action by the Planning Commission. Are there any items 1 through 7 that staff would like to remove?
Item number 2, 18 PD 001.
Are there any items 1 through 7 that the Planning Commission would like to remove? Item number 4. And are there any items 1 through 7 that any audience would like to remove? I'd look for a motion then to approve items 1, 3, and 5 through 7. Rachel made the motion. Is there a second? Second. And Mike seconded that motion? Yeah, Karen. That's Vicky.
We apologize. There is some confusion on agendas as to which item 18 PD 001 is. That's why I actually said the file number. So we are proposing to pull 18 PD 001.
I see where the confusion is. What I'm looking at has it as number 2. So we're pulling item 18 PD 001. And John, number 4 is, what's your number on number 4? I think that matches up. Okay. Well, Rachel had that motion on the floor and Mike had seconded it. I don't think we need to revise. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, 18 PD 001 is a final plan development overlay to allow an indoor and outdoor archery range and an indoor air gun range facility. Let me take you through some slides. You can see the aerial view of this of the property here. There's a lot of open land, and there's ample amount of space for where this property will be for the range and for the ranges and for the building that will be on site. You can see on this map that Sturgis Road is a revitalization corridor identified on here. And you can see the property is, for future land use, is as a low-density residential neighborhood. On this map, you can see that Sturgis Road is a principal arterial road, and that Knutson Lane is identified as a proposed minor arterial road. This property that is to be developed is by the South Dakota Game and Fish and Parks Department, who already occupy the property south of this. The property is to be developed with a hunter education building, which will house an indoor air gun range and archery opportunities and outdoor recreation classes inside and safety classes all housed within this building. There will also be 2 outdoor archery ranges. One will be a straight range, which you can see on the north, up on the north part of the map, right up here. And then they do have a second archery range, which consists of a walking course, which goes through that part of the area of this site. This is an additional site plan of the area. Around the entire perimeter of the property, there's a barbed wire fence, and they will be installing posted signs around the perimeter stating that it is an archery range active area and for no trespassing. Additionally, up on this north section by the straight archery range, there will be an additional fence put in place that will be 6 foot in height right along here, adjacent to where the Shriner building is, just north of it, to give an added sense of protection and to give more safety for both parties. This is showing with the outdoor archery range area for the walking course. This is showing where a target would be and the range of how far it will be going towards. So if they are standing here, then they have this whole area to be shooting in for where the target will be. All of these, this is the walking course right here, and all of these that you're shooting towards are going outwards away from the walking course, so no one's going to be shooting through the walking course to add for safety measures. This is the example of the fence that will be erected by the straight archery range that will be 6 foot in height. Part of this where they are going to be putting it in will be, they have to excavate some of the ground, and so it'll be as if the fence is 8 foot in height, even though it's only 6 foot, just because of the elevation changes that will be occurring. Another example of the fence that will be put in place. This is an example as if I were on the walking part of the archery range where I would be standing, and you can see where the target would be to give you an idea of depth perspective. Another example of from where you'd be standing to where a target would be. This is an example of the sign that will be posted around the perimeter of the property in various locations to notify people around the area. This is looking west towards the property from the parking lot. You can see it's there's some hills there. This is looking southwest. this area right here is Knutson Lane, right there with the fence. You can see how close it would be. Again, this is Knutson Lane. The buildings in the foreground is already the outdoor campus west. This is looking north on the property. This is looking directly north. This is where the Shriners building is. So between that, where this fence is, here they will be erecting that fence in this area here. This is a ravine on the property that they will be having a walkway go over as you head towards the building that's proposed. This is looking northwest on the property. You can see a lot of vegetation that's already currently there, present. Another example of where you'd be standing and where the people are in the foreground is where the target would be, from another depth perspective. This is looking east on the property, again with all the vegetation. Actually, this is looking east of the property. This is looking southwest. You can see Knutson Lane. You can see the road going north on the north side of it. Again, there will be posted signs along here and here of the property. These are the posted signs that were needed for this meeting. This is looking south on Sturgis Road. And this is looking north on Sturgis Road. Okay. This proposed final plan development overlay is appropriate for the indoor and outdoor archery range and the proposed indoor air gun and education building. This property is located on an adjacent to an already existing public district to the south of it. This proposed indoor archery range and air gun will encourage variety of uses along this revitalization corridor. Staff recommends that this final plan development overlay be approved with stipulations. The applicant is also here in the audience if you have any further questions regarding this project.
Thank you. Was this item pulled due to the difference in agenda numbering?
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
no, it was pulled because we've got 3 individuals in the audience that came in just wanting to know what it consisted of, and we thought it might be helpful for them and maybe you folks too. I would like to note that Javin and I did go out and meet with representatives for the item and walked the site and got a feel of where that elevation differential was and what kind of apparatus would be employed in this to ensure that there was target stop at the end of those ranges. And I think they've done a really good job, and they are here as well to provide any additional information. The use on a public district is certainly appropriate. It is something that will give our young people something to do in our community, and especially in this area where we've got public already to the south where their main campus is, that this will be an extension of that. So we're excited to see this being brought to Rapid City, but we certainly wanted to make sure that those that had questions about it were getting any of their concerns addressed.
Excellent. I don't have any speaker requests. If anybody would like to say anything, you're certainly welcome to. John?
Your plan showed Knutson Road being extended to Sturgis Road?
Mr. Chair?
Yeah,
So as a
thank you.
part of this project, they are going to construct Knutson Lane through the approach to that parking lot that will be built for that this use. So there will be some significant improvements to that eastern portion of Knutson Lane connecting back with Sturgis Road.
So is that going to be a private drive to their facility or public road?
It's public right-of-way right now, so they'll be improving public right-of-way.
Okay.
Other questions or comments? John, are you have anything else?
I was just thinking, are students going to cut through there to go to Stevens as a shortcut? It looks like it. Well, it goes to 44, so.
Morning, Kip Harrington, Transportation Planning. The Knutson Lane will be constructed only partway through this proposed connection, so it'll be actually constructed only to the parking lot that serves this facility. This portion of Knutson Lane in here is not scheduled to be constructed at this time, so there will not be any sort of cut-through access. The road will terminate somewhere in this vicinity, right in there.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kip.
You are welcome.
If there aren't any further questions or comments, or anybody who'd like to speak on this item, I'd look for a motion. Karen?
Thank you. Get my mic to work here. I think this is an extension of a place where kids really like to go and they are learning a lot. I think this is an excellent idea. As long as it's safe and if the people in the audience don't have any questions, I think this is an appropriate thing to do, and I move approval of it.
Great. Karen made the motion to approve item 18 PD001 per staff recommendations. Kurt seconded that motion. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4 on my list, 18 UR001. John?
What's the funding source for this project?
Do we have any representatives from this item?
No, this is a different item.
Oh, sorry.
Mr. Chair? Here we go.
This mic? Hi, Chris Worley with Wiss Associates. The owner is not here, but and I'm not aware of where the funding is coming from. I'm assuming grant. I've heard grant being spoke, and donations, but I don't have any definitive answer on the funding for that project.
Don't we normally require funding source?
Mr. Chair?
Yeah, Vicki.
No, that's not something that we have the ability to ask.
Wow. Okay.
Other questions or comments on this one? Look for a motion then on item 4. Rachel made the motion to approve it per staff stipulations. Is there a second? I think that was Justin that seconded. Further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We're up to item number 8.
The applicant has withdrawn the rezoning request, and so staff's recommendation is to acknowledge the applicant's withdrawal.
All right. Karen made the motion to acknowledge the applicant's withdrawal, and Mike Kwasny seconded that motion. Discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 9.
Good morning, Sarah Hansel, Long Range Planning Division. Items 9 through 11 may be considered as a group if the Planning Commission would like to do so. These are the 3 rezone applications associated with the creation of the Urban Commercial Zoning District. City Council reviewed the ordinance amendments at council meeting on Tuesday, and it went through first hearing, so we're happy to report that. In total, there are about 50 acres proposed to be rezoned. About a majority of them, about 46, are currently zoned general commercial district. So I'll pull up some slides and go through them generally. This is a map showing the existing zoning for the property currently zoned general commercial district. As I said, there's about 50 acres or so. Here's an aerial view of the property. It's mostly developed already. There are some opportunities for infill redevelopment as well. This map is showing the future land use categories. Throughout the rezoning area, the predominant future land use designation is downtown, mixed-use commercial, and there's also some public property. And you can see that Main Street and St. Joseph Street are identified as principal arterials on the major street plan. This map is showing all 3 of the areas, the 3 rezoning applications. There's the majority, which is existing general commercial. There's also 1 lot up here, which currently is zoned light industrial, and then this is the high-density residential zoned district. Here's some site photos showing the general areas. This is 5th Street looking north. This is the AB's Feed and Seed complex. This is the one property that is along 5th Street. The majority of the remainder is located along 4th Street. Here we're looking east from St. Joseph Street. Now we're closer down towards the School of Mines where the high-density residential property exists. Here looking across towards Main Street, about ready to head back east. Nice to see demand for bicycle infrastructure. Here we're looking towards the east along Main Street. We've been reviewing the urban commercial zoning district and talking about this project for quite some time, but we are available for any questions. If you have any, we are recommending that all 3 rezone applications be approved.
Unless any of the other commissioners have an objection, I would say we take items 9 through 11, or 8 through 11. No, 9. Sorry, 9 through 11 at the same time. Questions, comments on these items? I'd look for a motion then. Karen made the motion to approve items 9 through 11. Is there a second? Rachel seconded the motion. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries for items 9 through 11. Discussion items, staff items?
Just an announcement, we are working on an ordinance amendment to allow accessory dwelling units in Rapid City and residential areas. We have an open house scheduled next Wednesday, February 28th, from 3 to 6 p.m. at the Hoyt Room in the library. If anyone is interested in coming to learn more about how the city is proposing to allow those uses in residential districts. So an accessory dwelling unit, sometimes they're called granny flats or basement apartments or backyard cottages. That's when a property owner develops a subsidiary or smaller dwelling unit that has its own separate sanitation and living quarters. So we're going to be taking a look at that, and if you'd like to learn more about it, come to the open house or contact myself.
So that's next Wednesday, the 28th, at the library?
That's right.
Community room? All right.
3 to 6 p.m.
Sounds great. Anything else? John?
What, are we doing anything else with VRBOs and Airbnbs now?
That's also something that staff is working on, and you'll be seeing an ordinance coming forward on that as well, John. Good question.
All right, unless anybody has anything else, I'd look for a motion to adjourn. John made the motion. Kurt seconded the motion. Sure. All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye. Aye.